Welcome to Change the Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. We're streaming remotely from my home office tonight. Got an awesome show planned for you guys. Tonight we'll be talking about learning how to pivot. And I think in the current times with what's going on in the economic climate, I think this show is greatly needed for the simple fact that a lot of things are going on right now, and everybody have a lot of things that have just happened to them all of a sudden. And I think tonight's show, where we'll be discussing how to pivot, is very pivotal for everybody to see. Again, it's Change the Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. I want to give a big shout out to my producer, DJ Lab, Slick 316. I'm working remotely, but I also should be working the board on the Facebook page. We won't be able to stream on Instagram tonight, but we're doing the YouTube and the Facebook through the Change the Lives page. And I'm super excited about putting this show together. You know, it's been real funny. I mean, we're funny, scary, sad, with all what's going on and stuff like that. But I think it says a lot about everybody, how resilient everybody has been, so far with just hanging in there and everything. And that's why I think with tonight's show, learning how to pivot, we're really gonna talk about how to adjust to those sudden changes. So I think, I'm super excited to put this information out. As always, I get an initial shout out to DJ Lab, Slick 316, and my assistant Johnny. Appreciate you guys keeping me afloat, this week. Probably for the near future, we'll be streaming live from here. I'll be working as a team to keep the show going and everything. Um, with usually what I do with normal with my shows, what I do is I'll talk about what we did the previous week up until this point, and I want to give a shout out to my son, PJ Burden, Chetney Burden Jr. Uh, PJ enlisted in the U.S. Army National Guard, and yesterday he received a scholarship with the early commissioners, early officer commissioners program, and our party had to list first with the National Guard. He'll do he'll be gone for about 6-7 months between base and AIT, but he'll leave later in the year, and then he'll go on to Georgia Military, where he'll be an accelerated officers program. Within probably like a year and a half, he'll be able to get his second lieutenant stripe, and then finish on at a 4-year university, do those last 2 years of college with that. But I'm super excited for PJ. So big shouts out to him for getting that started. Real excited for P. Um, Next, I want to talk about what's going on right now with the coronavirus. I just want to get, just tell everybody to be safe and be careful out here and stuff like that. We got a lot of stuff going on with the virus, a lot of things that people need to adjust to. What's going on? Be careful, like practice social distancing, washing your hands. Um, um, Try to be away from people that are sick, and if you're sick, stay away from everybody. Just keep them same practices in. They put a grim study out about like 100,000 to 200,000 Americans should die, and I think that we can kind of stop that if we, really enforce those little common practices to kind of quell the spike that was happening. So we need a plateau soon. I think they were talking about the hardest spike should hit maybe mid-April, and hopefully we can kind of put some of the practices in place where we can take advantage of that. Um, the next thing, a lot of parents they have a lot of issues in terms of again school has been canceled for y'all gotta excuse the phone ringing. Again, I'm streaming for the house, so I couldn't cut the ringers off and everything with that. Um, the next thing again with the school year, I think a lot of parents really caught off guard, especially with me. I got a senior also. You're talking about losing no proms, a lot of memories that you have during your senior year, like graduation and stuff like that. They I know that like right now they're trying to get feedback from the kids to find out exactly what they want to do. My son got an email today, but it's again it's one of the things we just got to adjust to. We got to adjust to it and everything like that. I hate um, kids missing out on opportunities and everything like that, but as opposed to the opposite of what's going on, I think maybe 5-10 years from now, they'll totally understand. Okay, this is what we had to do. So that was a real shot in arm when they canceled everything for us last year. Because you're talking about a week ago, they were reporting the kids may be back, in about 2 weeks, maybe mid-April. So now they're saying the school year is closed. So that was kind of like a little shocker yesterday. On another note, tax season is still on. Who came out the other week? The Congress had extended the tax deadline to July 15th, and we're still pushing everybody to come on in where the business hasn't stopped. The flow of business has been the same. We have okay, cool. Thanks, Lab. Um, everything's been, still going on. Now we haven't missed a beat in terms of what we've been doing as far as tax season. So it's been pretty good. Congress also put in the other side of, they were talking about the stimulus package. And if you check it out, go to Mr. Short Dollar. That's my financial page where we talk about personal finance, entrepreneurship, and business. I put a video about how much my stimulus check be. So I get the whole breakdown on Mr. Short Dollar on what your stimulus check would be. The next part of the stimulus package that was more so garnered towards businesses just came out. They're still putting some information out about some of the different grants and loans that Congress is giving out to small businesses, even with the PPP program, the payroll protection program. I see it all on Facebook and everything. I'm going to put a video out this week. A lot of people put out different information in regards to the government is giving out these loans, giving out $10,000. I want everybody to kind of pump the brakes. Those, they're not just giving out money or giving out grants. They're coming out with the same stipulations that it was before in terms of giving federal or even business loans from banks. I won't necessarily say they're going to be restricted, but you got to have your stuff together. So I will say this is just to kind of smooth everything out with a lot of people. If you weren't able to acquire a business loan or just say even a federal loan before all this stuff happened, I think it'd be kind of difficult for you to try to go get you any kind of funding, any kind of grants now, because again, you have to go through the same protocol. And I will say this from personal experience, as the person right now that has a federal loan out right now, I think they're reaching out to us first, because I just got an email yesterday from my banker in regards to what the U.S. Treasury is doing for our loan, and then that they'll let us know as far as the PPP program, where they'll cover your payroll for a certain amount of period, where they're giving out $10,000 and certain forgivable loans. They'll reach out that information to us as soon as they get proper guidelines. So I will say first, I don't necessarily know if all banks, to my understanding, have the guidelines settled out from the federal government. But I am saying this, that if you weren't in a position to acquire those kind of loans, prior to Corona, I don't think you'll be able to acquire it now. Not being negative, being realistic. And I think you can call your banker and all this stuff is allocated. But when you start talking about acquiring federal money and stuff like that, you go from a regular bank application at a regular commercial bank to a federal loan where you're talking about maybe it's almost like a pamphlet in regards to what is asked or acquired from that. So I think when it comes down to it, in terms, again, you got to see the phone ringing and everything. I'm at home today, streaming from my home office and everything. But I think that's going to be a major challenge with a lot of people, because I see a lot of optimism when people looking to apply for those particular loans. But again, it's a lot more restricted. And I do think the actual loans, the federally backed loans that are out right now, I won't use the word preferential, but I think they're more reaching to make sure they're fine first before they do any initial claims. And I forgot the dollar amount they have allocated, so it's not like they can help everybody. But I think the ones that are already out, that are out here doing work and already have been federally funded, they're kind of getting spoken to first. I won't say preferential, but and I'll put that video out next week, because I've seen an onslaught of people, just I guess been reading and everything. They're looking at the federal government and getting out these loans. I don't think most people understand the scrutiny you go through to get a federally backed loan. And again, we're talking about, I've got commercial loans, I have a federal loan now, I have other commercial loans. And you're talking about an application from a commercial private loan to a federal loan is not this big. And it can take you weeks to a month to just fill out that package. And that's for a whole lot more information, a whole lot more scrutiny. And to think that, hey, if you don't have your stuff together, I'm talking about from a credit, experience, or collateral standpoint, you're not going to get those loans. I just want to be honest with you. That's just how that goes and stuff. But I'll put that video out next week. Right now, I think they put out that the unemployment claims for the U.S. is right at 6.6 million people. Man, it's unfortunate. I don't know how much of that was prior to, a lot of other stuff happening and everything like that, but that's still like a big staggering number. But again, that's why we're doing the show tonight, learn how to pivot, because again, I'm going to give you the blueprint on how to rebound and just end up on top. That's what we want to do. Everything, bring this show to you guys tonight. Also, I just want to make an announcement. In response to what's going on in the community, I was asking myself, hey, Hey Pooch, what can we do for everybody to kind of, just help out and everything? I'm always a big civil servant. We're doing work in the community, helping everybody out. But what I wanted to just announce tonight on our show tonight is starting Monday, April 6th. I'm going to make myself available to give free. You heard it right, free. Me and free don't really go. We don't function too much together. But I'm going to give free 10-minute consultations out, for at least the next foreseeable future. So what I do is on my website, you'll see even with a consultant link, you can book an appointment to just get one of the free consultations, hit one of them, and it'll be for 10 minutes. You'll fill out the intake form. You'll be able to ask me one question, a question, one question, a question, in regards to your personal finance, your entrepreneurship, your business and stuff. You're going through anything right now that you want to ask me? Yeah, I will say something. Yeah, I'm a financial guru. I know a lot about a lot of different industries and anything, and I'm offering this free of charge, free 10-minute sessions, and I'll make that available on my Acuity calendar. So you can just go to the website, or you can hit one of the links. All the links are always listed on the videos. Or you can also go by my business website, my business Majestic Business Services. You'll see the booking appointment. If you hit on the free consulting link, and I have that go live as of Monday. Book the appointment. The availability will vary, but you'll see it on the calendar which days. Probably do it like 3 days out of the week. I make time available, but again, there'll be 10-minute slots where you can just get free consultation about anything you got going on. So I just want to let everybody know that's my gift to everybody in regards to what's going on and stuff like that. So I want to let you guys know that I will be accessible, free of charge for 10-minute sessions. I'll make all that stuff available as of Monday. But I'll do a couple postings also to kind of remind folks to let everybody know. So if you do have any questions in regards to your business, personal finance, or anything like that, just feel free to just book an appointment in those days that we have those slots open, and we'll just go virtually and discuss your issues and everything like that. So again, that'll start Monday, April 6th. I have those slots available and everything. So just make sure you be on the lookout for that also. Again, it's Change Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. And tonight we'll be talking about how to pivot. You make sure you go to the YouTube channel, Change the Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Got over 170 videos listed on the YouTube channel. Also, go to Change the Lives on the Facebook page. We got a lot. I think we're like 800 or 900 likes. So people following the Facebook page also. Slick 316 been very pivotal with the growth of the YouTube channel. That and Mr. Short Dollar. And I also go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, where we talk about personal finance, business, and entrepreneurship. Also, Mr. Short Dollar on Facebook. We have a lot of great information. I've been trying to. I like preferably I was putting out information about business and entrepreneurship and personal finance, but what's going on, I've been putting out more information in regards to the adjustment you can deal with the economy, dealing with personal creditors and stuff. So I got a couple more videos coming out soon to help you guys go through everything. But please make sure you go to the YouTube channels, support everything, and I appreciate the support we've gotten so far. Also, I'm the owner of Majestic Business Services. We're a business service firm, pretty much a one-stop shop for small businesses, where we do bookkeeping, tax prep, payroll, and consulting for small businesses and individuals. Again, the links to book those consulting appointments, that's on there. Still in the middle of tax season, you know that even with the stimulus checks, they're initially going by the 2019 tax return. Since they extended the deadline, if you haven't filed, they'll go by your data from 2018. So if that said, if you don't have if you haven't had your 2019 or your 2018 file, give us a call. We'll get you guys squared away. If you one thing I do want to make sure to like, and I did put this on the video again, go to Mr. Short Dollar. How would my refund check be? If you're pulling Social Security, anything like that, you don't have to do that. Any kind of VA disability, anything, the government will go in the database and see that you don't have any earned income. You're receiving subsidies from them, and they'll still give you that stimulus check. But make sure you check out that video. Where's my refund? It's one of the hottest videos on YouTube right now. A lot of great information where I gave a whole blueprint and breakdown on how to calculate your stimulus check. Okay, I think I said, well, how much is my tax refund? It's more so how much will my stimulus check be? So make sure you guys check that out for me. Again, tonight's show we're discussing learn how to pivot. Okay. Either that. You know, when you were looking at a game of basketball, one of the things about it, when people are moving and moving, once the dribbler stops dribbling the ball, he's allowed to pivot where keeps 1 foot on the ground and he's able to turn around and spin off that 1 foot that's planted stationary. It's called pivoting. And kind of like what we're looking at in life right now, you have a lot of people that have been moving and moving in one place. Now they come to an abrupt stop and now they're forced to pivot, spin around, keeping 1 foot steady and just moving around, trying to find the right direction to go into. And so I think tonight's show is very critical in regards to helping you guys out and you know, at least being some support in regards to being able to make sudden changes to things like this. And with starting tonight's show, I'm thinking I want to kind of think about a past American icon, and that being Mr. Hugh Hefner. And Hugh Hefner was the owner of Playboy. And when you think of Hugh Hefner, I think everybody think of nude magazines. And, you know, he was all dealing with porn and all this other kind of stuff. But actually, Hugh Hefner was a very, very brilliant, innovative man. And he was one of the masters of being able to pivot. Okay? Because, again, we're talking about tonight's show. Everybody's got different things in terms of, you know, your work is being reduced. Some people getting laid off. Some people that have a business of their own, the business has slowed down or abruptly stopped. We got a lot of things that we was actually maybe a week ago fine, but now we're just like, what in the world is going on? And that's why this show is so critical. So please make sure, you know, even after you look at this, share this with your friends and stuff like that, because I think it'll be very beneficial to a lot of people. And when I'm talking about this, when I bring up Hugh Hefner, just give a kind of background information, because a lot of things with this man, he was constantly had to make a lot of adjustments over the years. There were just straight innovations. He just pivoted because he had certain things that happened in his life or in his business where he had to make adjustments on the fly. And if he didn't, the whole company would have sunk and everything. So just to kind of bring stuff up with just, you know, talking about Hugh Hefner, you know, he started off as a writer for Esquire magazine. Esquire magazine, which still is one of the top men's written magazines of today, but at that time it was the focal point, was the magazine. And I think it was like in the 50s when he was doing it. And Esquire would, you know, show maybe some of the girly pictures, you know, it may show a piece of a female's nipple and everything like that, and it was just, you know, kind of like bland literature and everything like that, but it was nothing like nothing insightful or anything like that. But people really didn't have options and everything. And Hugh Hefner was a very innovative and brilliant guy. And he, like a lot of people, had a lot of ideas that weren't necessarily embraced by his co-workers or his superiors. And so what happened with Hugh Hefner, he decided, screw it. I'm sitting here trying to do certain things that not listening to me. Like a lot of us, we're working jobs and like we're being a part of something. And, you know, he was told, shut the hell up. You want to keep working, be quiet. And he got tired of it. So what he did was he got some personal investors, and he also used the bulk of it to get his personal cash. And he invested and started his own company, which was Playboy. And part of when he went and started Playboy, he went and went and bought a picture of a photo shoot of Marilyn Monroe from a photographer. And he bought the rights to have that. And he listed that on the cover on the very first edition of Playboy. And it was just like a hit, because one thing that Playboy did, as opposed to Esquire, he showed full new women. And this has just never been before. And everybody was just like, what? And everything. And again, we're talking about innovations, pivoting and everything. He wasn't given opportunities at Esquire, so he went and started his own thing. And with the starting the full new photos of females, he did that. He started, you know, got his own logo where he just said, okay, I want a brand. I don't want to sit here and just kind of just say I'm a new magazine. They came up everything with the bunny. One of the other things of it was, because again, what happened was, you know, again, when we started making changes and people see we've made changes in life, or we've adjusted certain things, people kind of adapt and move in the same direction we have. And then what happened from there was he did something different, because again, some of the other magazines started showing full nude, making those adjustments. He came up with a whole centerfold where he took a whole long sheet you can fold up that you can put a poster on your wall, and he put that inside of a magazine. Again, we're talking about pivoting and changing, and not necessarily being, contentious with what's going on. Next thing you know, he had Playmate of the Month. And again, don't get stuck on in terms of he owned like Playboy magazine. We're talking about him innovating and changing to once things got stagnant, or when he had certain competitions come in, he didn't sit there and just, get comfortable with it. He adjusted all the changes that were going on. The next thing he did was he seen that, he had a good following going on, but he seen he had competitors open up different, nude magazines. Because once he took up, he was making millions of subscriptions. He was like the top magazine in the whole United States. And we're talking about in the 60s. And he was bringing in all kind of editorials. He had black writers, Hispanic, all kind of gay writers, bringing all kind of different editorials with just like a nude magazine. He was getting thought-provoking. A lot of civil rights magazines, issues were brought up and stuff in that. He was just doing a whole lot of stuff that was different. That, you knew it was a new. They had new pictures in the magazine, but it was so much more than that. You actually get the magazine, not only will you get some great pictures, but you also got some great editorials and reading. And these were things that he did where he seen his competitors weren't doing and everything. The next thing, once he seen like competition growing, he started his own little night talk show, Playboy as a Dog. So again, he started having the same thing, had some guests on, different celebrities, entertainers, some people that were like world leaders and stuff like that coming on his show. He was, interviewing them and everything. Again, he's growing the brand. He's making adjustments and everything. Eventually, I think this is probably like in the early 70s or maybe late 60s, they opened up their own clubs and private members only and casinos all around the country. They were doing that stuff. Business were going crazy and everything. They were continuing to grow. Then all of a sudden, he had some bad investors do some things. One of his employees did something, and the company almost went sunk. They had lawsuits going, all kind of things about to crumble, and he was at a very, very dark spot. All the stuff he had already spent maybe almost 20 years growing was, coming to an end because, again, he was getting all these lawsuits and taxation stuff coming from the U.S., plus the casinos that already took, so much money. The government came in season the clubs and everything. All of a sudden, then, where he pivoted was he wanted to bring his daughter in as a CEO, let her come in with some new bright ideas on how to change some things and everything. And you're talking about when you're going into those 80s, they embraced cable. So that's when they brought in the cable, Playboy cable channel. Again, with people, it was just another way they just pivoted, where it looked like, okay, you have so many people. This is the end of Playboy. This is the end of Hugh Hefner. Jumped onto a whole nother thing. Then they come with the Playboy channel. So now they're making all this money through cable television doing the Playboy channel. Okay, so you go through the 80s, through the mid 90s, they're doing that. Next thing you know, that's getting kind of stagnant. What do? They start getting into streaming. Again, this is a man that, every time something seems stagnant, every time something, he just pivoted and moved to something else. He didn't sit there and just, hey man, this is just in. They've taken this, they can't take that. He found some new way to adjust to the times to stay afloat. So they started streaming. And then, part going through that, you look in the later life, I mean, the early, mid 2000s, man, he did what everybody else did. Got his own reality show with 3 of his girlfriends. And the man, like in his 80s, got a whole reality show with 3 of his girlfriends living the life of, Hugh Hefner and everything. And he was just, again, stayed adaptive to the changes of the world. And he did not sit there and fold. But so many of his peers, or so many companies, period, had become defunct. They couldn't, keep up with the change. They didn't want to. They stayed primitive, and they folded. Well, this man, over, we're talking about maybe over 50, 60 years, he just kept innovating and kept changing, and most importantly, kept pivoting to stay afloat and adjust to all the different changes that came up for him. I would recommend anybody to look at what's the movie? I think I got it somewhere around here. The Hugh Hefner story, American Playboy. I think it's on Amazon Prime. It's like I think eight different 8-episode series. But man, this guy was brilliant, man. And again, we think of Hugh Hefner, we think about Playboy, all the women and stuff like that. But my God, he was a genius. And I think when you see that it will really inspire you when you feel like you're having tough times in regards to what's going on. What's up, Donna? How you doing? I hope you enjoy my Hugh Hefner story. Um, but it was really inspiring. I think a lot of people, especially what's going on right now, they kind of need to look at that because we're going through some times where that are very bleak, and hope and positivity kind of seem like it's not really coming. And I hope stories like that inspire you to say, hey, listen, when things look dark and things look grim, I can make some adjustments. Give a shout out to Absolute and Cranberry. This is one of the things that have helped me stay afloat during the pandemic and everything. So it's pretty cool. That's been my best friends because I can't go to the bar and have my cigars and everything like that. So I just been adjusting to stay busy with everything and enjoy my vodka. But again, tonight's show we're talking about how to pivot. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, Change Live, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, over 170 videos. We need to get that subscription up. I've been stuck at 2,400 subscribers for a couple months. We need to come and get me up. My goal for the year was 5,000. I know we have more people in the house, looking at YouTube and gaining weight. So again, right now I think it's a great time, to do that. What you got, Don? I am to these times. Brace ourselves. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Don. It's nobody's really. It's the fear of the unknown is the worst fear of all because you really don't know what's behind that door. So every day that we wake up is always uncharted area that we're going into. So I think if we can stay as responsive as possible to all the different challenges and different changes, I think the better off we'll be. And with that, it still provides a lot of challenges for anybody. But I think if you can keep in mind and make yourself as flexible as possible, I think the better off you'll be. Again, we're talking about learning how to pivot. And we're starting everything off. I want folks to kind of first, before we start, giving them ideas about how to pivot or how to make changes, I want to kind of just discuss, recognizing we kind of like, okay, we need to make some changes. And I think this is one of the hardest things for people to do, to realize, hey, we're at the end of the road. And the thing that we've been doing or the thing that we're accustomed to doing for a while, just ain't working. And we need to make some changes. We need to do something different in order to stay afloat. And when we started making those kind of recognizing or realize, hey, things are changing, things are different, it's painful. Change is always uncomfortable, and everything. So I think that's where we need to start first. When we just come to that realization, like, look, I've been doing this and I'm hoping things gonna get better, things gonna get back on track. And then you come to that point like, I don't think it's gonna get no better. I think we're stuck here. But I think that's the first thing we got to do is recognize when it's time to recognize when it's time to make a change. And the first thing I want to tell everybody, you got to just stop and think. You got to realize that, look, is my normal process of doing things going away? Is the thing that I've been waking up, going to work, and doing this stuff, has it changed? Is it about to go away and stuff like that? And I think that's the hardest part because we're so used to things be kind of rough, kind of funky at our jobs or in our life. We get a little time, it'll get better. And we just realize, hey, man, look, this ain't going to get no better. And I think that's the first step. We got to realize if it's the normal way of doing things, is it going to go away? And that's the first thing. We got to just come to that realization that it might be changing. And the number two, the second thing is you got to come ask yourself the question, am I being the old person? Now, when I say am I being the old person, not necessarily an age thing, is more an adaptive thing. A lot of times we don't want to embrace doing things differently. And, a lot of times when we get caught up into trying to fight certain things without even taking the time to or the opportunity to kind of get better at doing something. Sometimes, people can look at something that's new or different as being complicated without even giving it a chance. It's kind of like when how many of us know somebody still got a flip phone only because they feel like, the smartphones are just too much to deal with. Just no way whatsoever want to embrace any kind of changes. I don't even know if these folks still got beepers or not, but just those kind of things that are out there now that just because I don't want to do it, I'm just never going to try it. they're always going to keep kind of somewhat of a negative outlook on anything that may be innovative or good for them, just period. I mean, even if this thing can provide any kind of benefit to them, they just won't do it. I've been in situations where, we can actually do some things digitally. You have some folks, no, I don't want to try it. I don't want to try it. It just seems like too much and everything. But it'll just be a better process for doing certain things. And again, this is not an age thing. I think it's more of a comfort thing, because you have some people that are even younger. They don't want to adjust to certain things. Some people just like, hey man, anything new, anything that's been brought up by technology, let me try it. But you got some folks that are just straight dinosaurs. And when I say don't be the old person, usually it is people that are older, they kind of set in their ways, they're not as receptive to change or anything like that. But again, when you get in that kind of mentality, you get in that kind of rut, the world passes you by. A lot of people, to be totally honest with you, right now, I think even with the changes that are going on right now, we've got a lot of people that are working remotely. You got a lot of people doing things digitally. And if you haven't been receptive to it, how many of us know people that no matter what, they don't want to learn how to use a computer? I mean, when they see the computer, they're like, oh, I don't want to deal with that computer. And they're going to miss out on a lot of opportunities. Yeah, you're right, Tom. Some don't even trust the internet. And they act like it's like a villain. And the sad part about that is, again, the world is set pretty much on, doing everything, through the internet, on the web and everything. A lot of stuff is web-based. If you're not making yourself accessible to using that kind of equipment and information, it's going to get passed by. So that's why I say that number two, you have to ask yourself, when I'm being an old person, am I so stuck on what's going on, what I'm currently doing, I'm not going to be open to any changes, okay? Because again, we're talking about recognizing that, hey, some stuff is changing, and everything, you have some people that really, you can look at what's going on, what happened with the governor of Georgia. They were so set on like, look, this stuff is going to go away, to somebody to say, look, it's not going to happen. How many people still want to keep going into their offices and then want to even try to work remotely using Zoom or using any kind of remote software to kind of, just have meetings, so stuck on, we got to come here. Look, now you're seeing, okay, look, we got a different kind of normalcy that's going on right now. And a lot of times things could have been done quicker prior to even the coronavirus coming out. But again, they just interrupt that change. And now, because they didn't have a choice, they just had to embrace that. The third thing is, what are your peers or competitors doing? A lot of times people will want to stay set in their ways and everything and try to ignore what people around them are trying to do. And when they do that kind of stuff, they miss out on so many opportunities. They can kind of look at other people. That's what they do. This is what we do. And this is, best for us and everything. But again, what's best for you might not be beneficial for you. And a lot of times, you can be a certain way. And because you don't want to make adjustments to innovation, you lose a lot of credibility. People don't want to deal with you because you haven't, advanced certain things. You have some places, again, that, you go in certain restaurants and they're operating on a slower pace. They don't have things done digitally and everything like that. You can't go in. They don't have Uber Eats. They don't have things that are there where you can actually put your order in prior to and everything. You might be a little reluctant to deal with them than you were if somebody you can actually have everything ready for you. A lot of companies that actually don't do certain billings. Some people, you ever dealt with some folks, well, look, I just deal with cash. I don't want checks. I don't want you to pay me online because, I get charged fees and everything. I understand that, it's cost doing business, so you can add the fees into your prices. Just those kind of dinosaur moves will cause people to lose business or lose out on opportunities and everything. You got your business where you want all your employees to be clean shaven. They can't have dreadlocks. They got to dress a certain way. Things have changed. People don't necessarily do that anymore. And you can miss out on some quality employees because you're thinking about these days where we were doing this and everything. And it's just not the same anymore. And that's the kind of thing that, again, we're talking about where changes and stuff like that have happened. And what are you doing in regards to that to kind of adjust to it with that? You like I said, again, you have people that actually will lose customers, lose business. They can act like they don't care. But, again, when stuff starts affecting your pocket and everything, you have to, be willing to be ready to embrace that. Or even just as an employee, you can lose out on opportunities because you may be stuck in certain ways. So that's one of the things, again, we're talking about being able to recognize that things have changed, that things are different, things ain't the same that they were before. Number four, you got to make that decision if you want to, keep it moving, make them adjustment, or just get passed on. I think this is the most important thing. A lot of times, when you're not receptive to change, when I do receptive to doing things differently, it's not, again, I don't want to say what's right and what's wrong, but I think you got to be realistic about when you want to do it your way, you're going to get the ramifications of that. If you have the power to do things the way you want to do it, I don't think you'll ever be in a situation where you got to look, And when I'm saying look, I mean look for opportunities, that being jobs, that be business endeavors. People will bring them to you. But if you're out here knowing, okay, look, I need to get employment, I need to, get some business opportunity, I need to get new clients, and you're not willing to make certain adjustments with everybody doing, hey, look, hey, it just ain't gonna happen and everything. And this goes in, with just your personal life, your business, and anything. I mean, you see even, right now, how many churches right now are in a funky spot because they don't want to stream. They can't have people at the church. They locking pastors up now. They locking pastors up. You can't stream. You don't want to, start streaming your services at the church. You don't want to get any kind of online or digital presence. You want to just keep it right there at the church. You can't do it anymore. And now, hell, they might be closing doors some. And because they don't want to sit here and embrace technology, embrace innovation, they're going to be in a real funky spot. That's just one thing I'm just thinking off the top of my head, just churches. You have some that are way ahead of the curve that have been functioning digitally, and they got a global footprint all over the bubble. And you got some that are just so stuck on, no, we don't want to do that. We're a small church, and this is what we do. And they may not even be a small church, but they just think as a small church, and they have not embraced any kind of changes that are available for people. And they are in a funky spot. They're in a funky spot, right now, because they've shut any kind of gatherings down. And if you have not worked on trying to make sure you got some kind of online presence, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? And that's one thing I think right now, like I say again, because they haven't, they put themselves in a position to get rolled up and passed on. I'm saying rolled up, get passed up on. And I think that's something all of us need to kind of rethink a lot of things about where we are and the way things are right now, and make sure that, hey, where we can be responsive to the different changes, what's going on, and what will be coming also. Again, this is Change the Live, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Tonight we're talking about how to pivot. And we're going to get to, the instruction on how to pivot and make those adjustments, in a little bit. But I want to make sure, again, make sure you go to the YouTube channel, Change the Live, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. I really appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me, but I need you guys to support me a whole lot more. I'm gonna have some more courses coming out soon. Again, I did bring up at the beginning of the show that I will be giving out, for the foreseeable future, starting Monday, April 6th, free consultations. I have the link. You can go to the calendar. So again, you'll get free 10-minute consultation. Everybody know I charge $100 an hour on the low end just for consultations. So I'm giving free 10-minute consultations. You can go and book your appointment. It'll be different days of the week. Once you go to the website, and I have the link and everything, the consulting links before, and I'll bring it up again at the end of the show. But once you book those appointments, 10-minute appointment to ask a question, A meaning one, personal finance, business, anything that you may have a question about, you'll be able to book that appointment. We can talk virtually, talk on the phone, and be able to square your way with that. So that's something I want to offer out to everybody. Again, that starts Monday, April 6th. We'll make that accessible. Just go online, book the appointment, and get you squared away. So make sure you be on the lookout for that also. Again, subscribe to Change Lives on YouTube. Also go to check out Mr. Short Dollar as well. We got both of those on there, everything. So continue to support me and everything. I really appreciate it. Now, to what tonight's show talking about, how to pivot. How to pivot, and I think the first thing we're talking about pivoting. Remember, when we talked about pivoting initially on the show, we gave the example of the basketball player going down the court. Once he stops his motion, bam, he can't do that. Got to keep one foot stationary. He can pivot and move the other foot. We start talking about, hey, we got to a point where we're moving, we're doing everything, and now we're in a spot where man, we had to stop. I got to make some changes. Before we about making them changes, you think about pivoting and moving. You got to first see if your product or service that you're doing, and that be if you're in a business sense or you as an individual, the thing that you've been doing, is it even feasible? You know, can you make some changes in your life, in your business, that's even feasible? The things you want to do differently is right now, what's going on in the days we got going on right now, is it even possible? And I kind of think about, when we were younger, we had, I know my parents, I won't say our parents still, maybe got some of the parents on here now. People used to have the record player. Then you had the 8 tracks, and then you had the cassette tapes. You had the CDs, and then you had people that was downloading. And at the end of the day, they still were selling what? Music. But the actual delivery of the music had to change through technological advances. And I think what people had to understand is if you were just so stuck on selling cassettes, or you so stuck on selling CDs, and you didn't want to embrace the changes from going from cassettes to CDs, or CDs to streaming or downloading, you're gonna be in a bad way. Okay, so again, the whole notion of providing music was still feasible, but the delivery changed. And that's what I think, number one, we got to start doing. We start talking about how to pivot. Is what I'm trying to do even feasible? So providing music was still feasible, but the delivery changed. And that's what I think a lot of us have to sit down and think about, because the things that we do may change. We can't do it anymore. We cannot do that anymore. That's just not even available. That option is gone. And we just got to look at that. You look at some industries that had just, we talk, I think I talked on one show about disruptors, and how Airbnb put a dent in the hotel industry. It's hard to get cabs when you do Uber and Lyft, right? All that kind of stuff, it brought a lot of disruptions to those industries and everything. And even with God, what's the thing? I forgot the name of the thing. It's like your whole house share. You can be in your house, just rent out rooms in your house while you're there. These are just technological advances that are just there, that when they're years ago, and if you weren't ready to kind of evolve or adjust to it, you kind of, well, you can kind of, you're lost out. And that's why some things, we have certain jobs right now that aren't going to be needed anymore. I mean, me and Lab was talking the other week when I was just, gave my personal opinion about, the real estate market, or commercial real estate market rather. And I was just like, man, I can't see those behemoth commercial spaces being open anymore. I mean, when I was working for an agency, was there about 15 years, man, we're paying over 20 grand for rent for probably about, maybe 10,000 square feet, paying 20 grand for that prime commercial real estate place downtown. And that don't make any damn sense to do that anymore. Now you see everybody's, working virtually, everybody working remotely. You have not missed a beat. You're just not seeing everybody every day. And then half the damn time, you really only see folks anyway. You can still conduct the same meetings online, virtually, and you're not paying what? You might paying a Zoom bill for $70, $80 a month, $100 a month, as opposed to paying $20,000 damn dollars a month. Come on now. Things are gonna change. Now, do I think that's the end of commercial real estate? Absolutely not. But I do think the behemoths are gonna disappear, and they're gonna turn into maybe one big spot to maybe 30 subsets cut up and everything like that. And I think that was one of the things that was really trending in the past couple of years, but kind of everybody was stuck with a traditional behemoth for a company to have everybody down there and stuff. But what's happened now, because you forced to change, you're seeing, look, we don't really need that. And now you got a lot of folks that are actually looking like, we really don't. They knew it, but they didn't want to embrace it. So things like that, that's one of the things where I think, again, people are seeing that, a lot of stuff, or a lot of ways that we did things in the past, we're just not going to be able to do those anymore. Okay, and we have to get ready for the changes. The second thing we're talking about how to pivot is, you got to ask yourself, can you accommodate the changes regardless if you want to? So many people, they kind of shy away from motivation and innovation, and understand that if they don't, they're going to kind of, have a sink or swim moment. And that's the thing about it. When you sit there and say, okay, we got to make some changes, but can I even do it? Can I learn how to use this new equipment? Do we have the ability to make these adjustments to even happen? And I think that's the second question you got to ask yourself. Can you even accommodate it? Everybody's not going to be able to, kind of streamline all their processes out from maybe a manpower standpoint, or even from a personal knowledge standpoint. And when you're sitting there saying to yourself, like, look, I want to do my business, or I want to personally keep doing the thing that I want to do. And if it's not, the opportunities aren't there, what you gonna do? You have to sit here and really say to yourself that, look, stuff that I've been doing, it's not even, even when I want to make the adjustments to try, it's not there. I don't have the capability of doing it. I don't have the time in the day. I got a family. I got certain health issues. I don't have the actual money to do it. And you got to be real with yourself. What you got, lab going on? There will not be much going to the office. They will have us working from home and using our power in there for free, no extra pay. You know what, lab? That's a good point, but it may not be the case, because again, it goes back to the point where we looked at years ago. Remember that market crash back in 08, where you went from a shift having 10 people down to 5 people. They end up working those 5 people more, but they bought them a little bit more money. So even if they give you a little bit more money to work at home, work remotely as a adjustment to use your own utilities, they'll still come out way cheaper than they would by having that space. I mean, just that, and that's just the thing about it. Now, again, as easy as that sounds, a lot of businesses are not even going to be responsible to that. They're not going to be responsible to that, again, but the ones that are responsible to that, they are able to make that move. I think you'll see the growth and how they develop over the next 5 to 10 years. But, it's kind of like, I think about, I got family members even close to me. They don't want to touch computers. They are like computers are the devil. And with that said, even some of the most manual labor that you can be doing, just the most manual labor, everything's pretty much set on automation. And even when you start talking about, especially from an intermodal supply chain perspective, you're looking at some of the warehouse opportunities and everything. Everything's digital, so you got to have some kind of gist of technology. Just be able to fill out an order on a computer, or receive your orders, or submit everything done as processed. And if you I don't want to touch a computer, they just can't get opportunities. They just can't get opportunities. And I know we all know some people like that. Regardless what it is, they do not want to embrace technology. And if you're not going to be able to do that, you got to be realistic about, hey, how limited your opportunities are going to be going forward. Yeah, I see your point. Space rank 3% area. There you go, lab. The third thing, again, we're talking about how to pivot. The third thing you got to do is make a decision. And what I mean by make a decision, this is actually the easiest and the hardest part. Or you got to just make that decision. If you're going to turn around and say, okay, I want, make changes in order to continue, or, I have to make some new opportunities. And again, when we say make that decision, it's the easiest and hardest part. You guys, look, I'm going to keep, one decision is to keep doing what I'm doing, and whatever comes from it, be it something positive or something negative, I'm going to keep doing it. Or I just say, look, this ship is sinking. Let me get off of this and do something totally different, or do this in a totally different way. You got to make that decision. And that's like I said, it's one of those yes or no things, but coming to making that answer is very difficult. And if you've been doing something for majority of your adult life and everything, and now you have to make some abrupt changes to that and stuff like that, it's tough. I understand. But at the end of the day, again, we just say sink or swim. You made a decision. And I think it's as simple as that. If you don't want to embrace changes, you don't want to do things differently, it's going to come back and get you. And if you decided that, because again, the world, like it could be meaning go back to school. It can be learning a different skill. It could be maybe even doing a skill that you have that you really don't do that often. You could be, you may know how to work on cars because you grew up with your grandpa, your uncle being a mechanic, and you may just start working on cars a whole lot more. You may have had a hobby of drawing and stuff like that, and the field you went in is kind of dried out of change. You might now start being an artist, a graphic artist on the side. So just being able to sit here and look at, hey, look, it's the writing on the wall, and they let me know, listen, this company is moving to Mexico. Or hey, this company right here is going to funk. This whole industry, a lot of it. That's why you see so many people in the Midwest. They were so praying about, hey, listen, we want to, they were so stuck on the plants, and all the manufacturing companies were leaving and going to South America or Mexico, and not even witnessing that you had a whole plethora of different kind of businesses. It was a whole different industry going up down the eastern and western seaboard, or even down in the Gulf. So you lost all this production and everything, and all these different plants in the Midwest. But you talk about from all the way from New York down to Florida, the whole Gulf Coast, West Coast, we just totally transformed everything in terms of the ports and everything like that. You went in different places, and I think I would sit and say there's more money made there. But it's the same thing. We had a great migration going to the Midwest, in the was the 1920s or 1930s, when everybody was moving up there and everything. It's the same thing. You just got to be able to pivot. If you want to sit here, I want to still stay in Illinois, Ohio, or Detroit, because this is where I raised my family. Excuse me, but we don't have hardly any damn jobs here. I mean, that's on you. Or you sit here and say, well, listen, I can go to New Jersey, I can go down to Savannah, I can go, to South Carolina, Houston, LA, New York, to these different seaports, and probably make more money doing it. I'm just saying, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Continue to do what you're doing, take what comes with it, or say, hey, listen, I got to make a change. I mean, it's uncomfortable. Change is always uncomfortable, but it's as simple as making that decision. Okay, again, this is Change Live, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Tonight we're talking about how to pivot, how to make those adjustments in your life, be it easy or difficult, but at the end of the day, help you come back on top. And now we're talking about how to pivot. We went through the first 3 items, and I'll bring back it. I'll rehash everything once I go through the whole list. But we went through the first 3 items already, and now we're at number 4, make a plan. And what I mean by making a plan, when we talk about learn how to pivot, look at all your available options. Okay, you're looking at your available options. You might say all the different skill sets you got, the different opportunities that you got. Okay, well, listen, man, I know how to work on cars. I know how to paint. I did a little accounting or something like that back in the day. Back when I was in high school, I may start doing some taxes or whatever. You start looking at all the different skill sets or different opportunities. It's a business around the corner, they doing okay and stuff like that. That may be something for me to do. Different opportunities. Or, like Lab said, I think I'm gonna go back to school. I kind of had an interest in this. Let me go back to school, learn how to be a plumber, learn how to do electrical work and stuff like that. We talk about learning how to pivot. Again, I've been doing the same thing 20 years. I'm comfortable with doing that. But if you see that ship sinking, that's on you. If you're gonna stay on that damn ship while it goes all the way in the water. We gotta be ready to brace some changes. We gotta be ready to do some things that are different and difficult. Okay. So again, we're making that assessment, what's available, what I can do, what's available out here in the market for me to do. And as we go through that, we look at what's applicable to us. Paint is available. Is that me to be doing the plane? Electrical is there, but is that me to be doing it? Maybe I might be in the entertainment district, kind of like people that are near Disney World, like in Orlando. Do I really want to be, doing, shows and stuff like that, or anything like that? And those kind of things, we got to sit here and look at it. This is what's available. This is what I can do. This is what I can learn. But is it applicable to me? You got Lab. Does your plan have to be complete, or can it just be played by ear? Hey, good question. We're gonna get to that, Lab. You're always 2 or 3 steps ahead of me, brother. Slow down. Slow down. You're always ahead of me. But to answer your question in the short term, we're talking about a plan. So a plan is what? Adjustable. A plan is just that. Plan make changes and stuff, because there are things that you're gonna do. There are things that you can't control. They're gonna come up. So we got to make adjustments for the plan. But the key thing is we're writing this stuff down, and we jot down what's applicable towards us. What you got, Sam? Just try to figure out what you can do. Yes, we need to ready to restructure. Exactly, Sam. And that's the thing about it. That's what we're talking about, pivoting. If you keep doing the same thing that ain't working, you're gonna still have more of the same stuff that ain't working. And so you got to be ready to be, be responsive and be proactive, and get ready to do certain things that are different to put you in a different and a better state. The third part about that is once you start going through that list of your particular ideas, because again, it can be, we can go through and start writing stuff down and get about 30, 40 items. Try to narrow it down to 3. Again, we're going through all the things that we can do, looking at things that are available. We're looking at what's applicable between that, and we're going to try to narrow it down to 3. If those 3 don't work, we can always go back and do it over again. Okay, I know it seems like a lot, but we make some changes. We make some great positive changes in our life. But again, that's what I want you guys to do. Look at what's available, and that being what you can do, what opportunities out there and everything. Kind of look at what's applicable. And again, when we start looking at what's applicable, that may be from an experience standpoint, that may be from a financial standpoint, that may be from a family standpoint. Some opportunities may, again, you may not say, hey, look, I like being around my family. We need to be around each other and everything. So I really can't be away for, 3 or 4 months out of the year. I'm just, we're looking at it. So again, we tying in what we can do, what's available, and what's applicable, and mixing them in. Then we'll narrow it down to 3. Okay. That's part of making the plan. Once we got it down to 3, we go to number 5, what's called executing the plan. I want you guys to try one at a time. Try one of them 3 at a time. Try to sit here and go through it and everything, and be realistic and honest with yourself. Make sure you give it a good effort. Okay. Don't just the first time you will run across something difficult, like, man, this stuff ain't working. I tried it, it didn't work. You didn't try, you attempted it, and the first time you got some kind of uncertainty, and the first time you got uncomfortable, you quit. And that ain't gonna work. And that's with any damn thing. You got to give it a good, honest effort to try it. I won't necessarily try to put a time frame on how long you need to do it. I think if you can be honest with yourself, to say in your heart and know, okay, I really did try this. But those 3 things you did, try doing one at a time to kind of go through it. And again, this may seem like there's a lot of stuff to be trying to do, but again, we're making changes. We're doing something different and everything. So it is going to be a lot. There you go, Sam. I mean, Sam, I think what everybody's finding out right now, that we were so stuck on saying that I put this off for another day, and in the statement of don't put off tomorrow what you can do today, it's came and bit a lot of folks in the butt, because a lot of folks see right now tomorrow ain't there. That's the thing about it. I got a son saying, yeah, he can't even go to prom, graduation, all that kind of stuff. Everything's changed, and a lot of opportunities where we thought were going to be here maybe next month or the month today, they're not going to be here for a lot of us. So you're absolutely right. Again, you take full advantage of the opportunities you have. So again, that number 5, execute a plan. We narrowed it down to 3 from number 4, and then that number 5, we want to make sure that we try all of them one time, at least once. Take them one at a time. Be very, very well the level of commitment you got to have. You got to really try to do it. Okay. Soon as you get some uncertainty, soon as you get uncomfortable, do not quit. Okay. But if you say, listen, for what it needs and requires, I can't do that, honestly. And you say that with yourself from the bottom of your heart, go to the next one. Try it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, try to give it a good commitment, a good attempt. If it doesn't, go to the next one. If none of those 3 work, go back to the lab, reevaluate everything, and try to get 3 more. It's not going to be easy. I know it may seem like a lot, and everything like that, but again, I think if life was easy and to do things, and even for all of us could just is raised to be successful in life, I think everybody would be. And for the simple fact, it's not that easy and stuff like that. You can't really expect for it to be things just pop up and happen for you like that. So I think everybody got to be ready for changes and stuff. And again, we talk about what's going on in the world and the economy today. You cannot just sit here and think that the things I did before is gonna happen. The worst thing you be sitting down right now and say, I hear it all the time, who hiring, who doing this and that. Shit, you better find somewhere to, hey, you gotta pivot. You gotta move. You gotta move. You cannot put your damn destiny in other folks' hands. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with going out and getting a job. It's something wrong with sitting there waiting for somebody to give you a damn opportunity. You better make your damn opportunity. Your opportunity may come, not necessarily you start your own business or doing something like that. It may come from you having to do something damn different from what you've done before. And you got to be realistic about yourself for that. Because you did something for a certain amount of time, you had the opportunity to stay in that position, great. But because it may not be there before, and there's maybe a lot of you in that position, you just don't have the opportunity. So you might got to do something different. And again, we have to be ready to be uncomfortable with all different things that happen that can be different. Um, Again, it's a Change the Live host by yours truly, Deonte Burden. We're going through my whole process of how to pivot. Right now, we just finished number 5, was execute, and right now we're at number 6, track your progress. When I say track your progress, when you're going through those little journeys of doing certain things, everybody knows me. I'm big on writing stuff down, and make sure I'm keeping notes on the changes. We'll look at the positives, the negatives, the rights, the wrongs, the things that we planned for that went right, the things we planned for that went wrong. Kind of look at those measurables. How long did it take you to do that? Because I'm a numbers guy, so I'm real data driven where we go back to look at it. Because again, the worst thing you can tell me, if I say, man, how's everything going? It's going good or it's going bad. Well, what the hell does that mean? We want to know exactly how we're going to track this and stuff like that. Is things moving in the right direction because you did A, B, C, D, F, and G, or because it just rolled the damn dice? We got to have some kind of way that we can track everything to be able to look back, because again, we may have did something wrong, we may didn't do enough of something, or we may have did too much of something. We got to be able to go back and make sure we're keeping track of this. I know a lot of times people hearing this, especially if you're new hearing me, and again, I appreciate everybody that's tuning into tonight's show. I'm real big on making sure that you staying on top of your business and everything. That being from a personal standpoint, for a professional and a business standpoint, staying on top of your stuff, because right now is one of the biggest times we're seeing it when you weren't looking at what you've been doing over the past couple of years. It can blow up on you. One of my best friends, he's an HR executive, and he's always talking about adjusting your resume every damn month. And who does that besides him? And I know you might be looking at the show laughing at me, but he knows what he's done. And we get a situation where we have to kind of adjust our resume, and we look at our damn resume from the a year, 2, 5, 10, 20 years ago. We can't even remember half the stuff we've done. And we have to go back and kind of recalibrate what you've done and put it in a selling standpoint. It's difficult because then when we got it on paper, it really doesn't give justice to what you've done, and you really can't remember. So that's why I say, again, we're doing this tracking on everything, so we make sure that we always got some kind of data that we can go back and say, okay, this is what we've done and everything. And that was number 6, track your progress. Number 7 was the last piece with everything. Make adjustments. Again, so we went through all the different process, made the plan, executed the plan, kind of started tracking, got our things we did right. We did this for a couple of days, that didn't work, kind of flipped it, spun it around, did this and everything. And then from that point, we just make our adjustments. And we make our adjustments as we go. We kind of lab question earlier, is it like a soft plan, hard plan? It's a plan. So we're going to always be kind of adjusting certain things, what we're doing. When we're going through different new endeavors or different endeavors, we have to be patient. Because what happens is, man, we said it several times, so I'm saying we, for me, we doing a certain thing for a certain amount of time, and now we got to do something different. It's difficult as hell. It's frustrating, and a lot of times it's hard to kind of share that with people that's close to you, because they may be going through one thing, you're going through another thing, and they really can't get all the time with full frustration. And so that kind of compounds to a lot, because sometimes you don't necessarily get paid therapy, but you want to sometimes get stuff off your chest. But if the person that you're talking to is not really receptive, not that they don't care, they just don't understand, that's a whole nother stress on top of it. So we have to just really, I think if we smooth it out, pace ourselves. It's very important. Pace yourself. Wrong one built in one damn day, and your whole new damn life career damn sure ain't gonna be easy, because you got to go through a whole nother learning curve, or just a whole difficulty stage, just readjusting and everything. So just be again, be able to make those adjustments. Again, this is Change the Live, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Tonight's show, we talked about how to pivot. Again, I gave you a whole blueprint on how to make those pivots and adjustment. I'm about to go back over all 7 of those items again, but I do want to, again, bring up to everybody. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, Change the Live, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden, where we talk about personal development, motivation, parenting, family, a lot of stuff to kind of get you from here to here and everything. I'm a paid professional speaker. I love doing this and everything. So I want you guys to make sure you go to the YouTube channel, Change the Live, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Leave comments. I don't care I don't look at what's good and bad. Just leave some comments and most importantly, share it. Share it with everybody. Tell them to subscribe. Say, look, listen to little short bald head man run his mouth. Just do that and everything, because I really need the growth and everything. It's much appreciated. Also, you can go to my other YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar, where we talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship. I've been putting out a lot of videos in regards to what's going on now. We have a lot of the last video I think it's been doing. I mean, it's been going like hotcakes on YouTube, where I talk about how much will my stimulus check be. Where I gave a whole blueprint on how to calculate your stimulus check. Also gave a video about how to respond in the economic crisis, where we were talking about different things you need to do with your different creditors, giving you some advice in regards to who to reach out to and the information. I have some more videos coming out in the next week or so also. And then also, again, I'm offering as of Monday, April 6th, for the near future, free advice. So the only thing you got to do is go to my business page, which is Majestic Business Services. You go to our website, which is www.majesticbiz.com, and you'll see book a consulting appointment. When you hit that link, it has a different, appointments that's available to everybody. That being if you want tax prep, consulting, whatever. I have a link say free consulting. Y'all know me. Me and free don't work too well and everything like that. But this is for everybody. I'll give you an opportunity to get a free 10-minute consultation. You book it. If you got just a question, remember a question, and you ask me, hey D, I'm having this problem with my landlord. Hey, listen, I got this stuff going on with my credit. What do you know about this kind of loan? What do you know if I can do this as far as foreclosure? What do you know about this as far as trying to get some kind of funding for that? Ask me those questions. I'm giving you the opportunity to do that for me for free and everything. That's my gift to everybody. So they'll be available Monday, April 6th to be able to do that. And as always, on these videos, I have all the links as far as booking appointments and stuff be set on the video, but I'll be pushing that out in the next couple of days, the links for that also. But just be on the lookout for that and everything. But just to rehash what we just talked about on how to pivot, the first one, and there's 7 steps on how to pivot, guys. The first one being first determine if what you're trying to do, the product or service or whatever the endeavor that you kind of do, if it's feasible. What I mean by feasible, can you even do it? Is it realistic to think about it? Again, if it's something that you feel like, and be honest with yourself, not that you hope and pray that you still can do it. If it's not damn available, stop trying to make it happen. You just got to be able to make an adjustment and do something different. Okay. So again, that's why I said we brought the whole thing about the man from the damn cassette tapes. Then you got to change to the CDs. Then you got to find some way to just sell some kind of streams and downloads. You have to adjust. You can't be out there selling no damn CDs and cassettes no damn more. And definitely no 8-tracks. I don't know what I'm going to stick it at, and everything. But again, you have to be able to adjust. If what I'm doing right now is feasible, can you even do it? That's number one. Number two is, can you accommodate them changes, regardless if you want to do it or not? Are you going to be able to make those adjustments and changes to be able to do that? You got to be realistic about it. That being from a manpower standpoint, from you, finances, availability, family, all that stuff coming out. If I even want to do this, can I even do it? Okay, you got to be real with yourself for that. The third thing, you got to make a decision. And that decision being if you're going to do it or not. Are you going to stay down the same path? I'm like, look, I'm going to pray on it. We're just going to hope. We're going to stick to what we're doing and take what comes from it. What may come from it be nothing at all. It might be like, okay, everything's the same. Or what may come from it be like, damn, look, I done lost my damn job. I done lost my house. I done did this, that, because I seen this damn storm coming. And because I made a decision not to adjust or change, this is what happened. Or you can go into doing something different. And I'm not trying to scare people when I say by not making that change, something negative going to happen to you. But I think we all are smart enough. We got enough sense. We have enough life experience to understand that when we put ourselves in a responsive, reactive state, that is so dangerous. That is so dangerous to put yourself to just being responsive to different things that happen and hoping for the best instead of like, look, I'm going to move in a certain direction. If I want to do happen, if what I want to happens, great. If it doesn't, I'm still prepared. So it's just really just a matter of preparation, getting yourself prepared. Still having what you want to do, but preparing for the worst, okay? Or preparing for change. The fourth thing is make a plan. Sit down and just kind of, go through the different things that are available to you, what you can do, what you can't do, look at what's applicable to you, and try to narrow it down to a list of 3. The fifth thing is execute that plan. Take them one at a time, go through each one of them and everything. And probably what I did say before, I should have said from step 4, making that plan, those 3 options, kind of go through a preferential, hey, let me try these 3 first. They're the ones that I want to try the most. So when we get to step 5, as far as executing, we're doing it one at a time. We're going to try the one that we think is that most interests us and is also the most applicable to our current life situation. You know, being experienced, family, availability, all that kind of stuff going into it. So we're going to kind of go through a tier of probably best available first. Okay. Like I say, execute that plan and also be aware of the level of commitment that you put into making that plan happen. Number 6, track your progress. Make sure you be looking at all the different things that we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, changes that we made, things that happened that we may have brought to occur, and also the things that we didn't bring about that maybe cause some changes. Because again, those kind of things will give you experience. Because again, nobody knew coronavirus, all this stuff was going to come, but then as it came, we have to be able to be responsive, reactive to what's going on with that. And that means check your progress. And then number 7, which is the last one, make those necessary adjustments to keep yourself on flow. Again, I'm gonna say, change is uncomfortable, change is scary. But as I always tell people that the fear of you not trying something, got to be greater than your fear of doing it. I'm sorry, your fear of not trying something, your fear of not trying it got to be greater than your fear, exactly, of not doing it. Because again, you got so many people that are so scared to take chances, and because they're scared to take risks rather, and they miss out on those opportunities, and then they look back at it like, I only just stayed stagnant because I worried about it happening. You got to be more scared of the result of you not attempting it, and that's what's going to move you to greatness. You can't be scared to do that again, because life gonna reward you for doing things that are different. Now, I ain't saying here say go gamble off the farm or do all this other kind of stuff we're doing. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying don't be afraid to do things. And here's the deal: if when you try something and you're smart about it and you take a smart risk, if it don't work, you can always go back to what you're doing before. So even if you tried and it doesn't work, you say I did it, and go back to doing something. What was before that, but at least just give it a try. Don't be so abrasive to change the different things what's going on. Because again, I think a lot of the people that's going to come out in the best situation within the next year are the people that were able to be proactive and were able to pivot on the different changes that came about before them. So again, I hope this was good information. I hope this was beneficial to a lot of you guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, check out, go to the YouTube channel, go to the Facebook channel, Change the Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Also go to the I'm about to go blank, the YouTube page for Mr. Short Dollar for that, and subscribe that into the Facebook page. Make sure you tune in next week again. We're doing something different. I'm streaming from the house. I want to say thanks to BJ Lab, Slick 316, and everybody tuned in via YouTube or via Facebook. I appreciate the support. Love you guys, and I'll see you next week. I thought that was my outro music.